Hello everyone, welcome back to Code to CloudX. So far, we have learned in our previous videos how to run and integrate LLMs, but now it's time to control them. So in this video, we are diving into message roles, which is the key to making AI output consistent, structured, and production ready. So far in this series, we have explored how to work with OpenAI to running LLMs locally using Ollama and Docker, and even integrating enterprise solutions like AWS Bedrock with Spring AI. So in this today's video, we are going one level deeper and we will understand how message rules works and how we can control model behavior. Okay, because without rules, our AI is just guessing. With rules, our AI become predictable, structured, and production ready. So LLM is not just take input and give output. So if we will show the diagram and this picture, you can see every conversation has three main parts. The user gives input, the system defines the behavior, and the assistant generates response. But here's the important part. The system message is not just context, it's a control. It defines how the AI should think, respond, and behave. So let me show you something interesting. User questions is same. That explain Kafka. Both user is asking same questions, explain Kafka. But here we change the system role. One is a coding mentor and another one is a 5-year-old teacher. So one's answer will be becomes more technical and the other answer become more super simple. So that's the power of message rules. We are not just we are not just asking questions. We are shaping behavior. So now instead of just theory, let's see how this actually works with examples. For this example, I am using the same project which we built earlier when integrating OpenAI LLMs. And for that, inside our application.properties, we configured the OpenAPI key to access the model. And we have also already seen how to generate this API key step by step. So now if you look at the project setup inside the pom.xml, I have added the required dependency for OpenAI integration. So everything is already in place, configuration, dependencies, and setup. Optionally, you can also specify the model name. Otherwise, it will use the default model. Other than that, we only renamed the project. Now, the question is, how do we actually use this setup to control conversation using message rules? So right now what we are doing is pretty simple. Okay, we are taking the user input and directly passing it into prompt method. That works, right? And we didn't find face any problem. But here's the thing, we are not telling the model what kind of message this is actually. Is it coming from the user? Is it some instructions? We are not specifying anything. Now you might think, okay, then how does it work? Right? So internally, Spring AI makes a decision for us. So whenever we pass a simple string, it automatically treats it as a user message. That's it. No extra configuration, no manual mapping. It just assumes this is coming from the user. Now let's take this one step further. So sometimes we want to control the behavior. We want to guide it. We want to limit it. And that's where this concept becomes powerful. So instead of just doing this, we can do something more structured. We can say, hey, first follow these instructions, then respond to the user. That's what a system message does. Think of it like setting the role of AI. For example, if I say you are an internal IT support assistant and only answer questions related to login issue, VPN, email related questions. And if something is outside, just politely refuse. So now what happens? Even if the user asks something random questions like suggest a movie, then model won't go outside the boundary. It will stay within the role we defined. That's the key idea. So instead of just sending one message, we can actually build a small conversation. First, system message, then user message, and then call the model. So the question is, how does Spring AI handle this internally? So let's explore that. When you click on the prompt method, you will notice it has overloaded method. For example, one version accept a string input and another works with a prompt object, right? If you follow the return type, you will find the actual class behind it, which is default chat client.java. Now inside this implementation, when we pass a simple string message, Spring AI internally create a object of the prompt class. And if you go further inside the flow, click on prompt, so you can clearly see that this message is being treated as a user message. So now if you open the related message hierarchy, and user message extends abstract message. And if you will see the implementation of this, we will notice that Spring AI has multiple message type, which we discussed in our diagram. This is user message, assistant message, system message, tool response message. So this is the important point to understand. When we simply call prompt with plain text, Spring AI by default treats that text as a user message, right? That means internally it is not assuming any system instruction by default. It is directly sending your input as the user's message to the model. Now, if you look at tool response message, the documentation explains that it represents a function related content in chat application. So even though the naming may look a little different, the concept is still the same. It is connected to the idea of tool calling or function executions. So this is optional in LLM conversation flow. So overall, what we are seeing here is by default, if we only pass prompt message, Spring AI internally convert it into a user message. But in many real world applications, this is not enough. We want to guide the model first with a system message, then accept the user message, and finally let the assistant respond based on both of them. So now let's see how we can explicitly define this flow. So rather than just sending one message, we can actually build a small conversation. So first system message, then user message, and then call the model. So Spring AI gives a very clean way to do this. We can write something like, rather than using prompt this method, we can use non-parameterized method without any arguments, and then call the system method. And here I want to pass, okay. So just I copied and paste the instructions, and then we will pass the user message. User, and here you can pass the user prompt, and then we will call the model. That's it. So what we are doing here, we are giving instructions to the model before the user questions, right? We are telling it that you are a backend expert. So let's build the application and run this application. So firstly, we will start our applications in debug mode. So now our server has started on port 9191. So let's test the model. So firstly, rather than asking valid questions, we ask a different questions. What is your favorite movie? And send the request. So I got the response that I can only assist with software engineering topics. If you have any questions about Spring Boot microservices, or feel free to ask. It is restricting itself. So here it's saying I can only help with backend or software related questions. But if I ask what is Kafka, what is Kafka, and send the request, now if we look at the response, the model is giving a structured and detailed explanation of Kafka. And this is not random. This structure comes from how we define our message rules. So the takeaway is simple. LLMs are powerful, but without message rules, we don't really control them. So once we start using system messages effectively, we can shape response exactly the way we want, right? So that's all for this video. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. And in the next video, we will dive deeper into building smarter AI prompts. Thanks for watching. See you there.